Hello everybody, welcome back for StarCraft 2 action. You know what it's all about. We have a Lambo going up against Harstem. And this is the ESL Spring Tournament. It's the open bracket. Both of these players didn't qualify at first, so now they are in an open bracket trying to make it through. So Harstem going for that pylon scout in an attempt to block the natural hatch. Lambo going forward with his drone, making sure that if that happens... Oh, he thinks he can actually get it down. He can't. Slightly mistimed. That sucks for Lambo. He's going to have a slightly later hatchery. As you can see, went up to 18. Made an extra drone. Not too bad. Just make an extra drone if you go over 300 minerals. The hatch is late. That's all there's to it. Means your queen will start a little later. Means your creep will be slightly less far out. Means you'll have like a larva slightly less early. Like the first larva is a little delayed. And I guess every subsequent larva is also delayed. But it's not too big of a deal. Now we do have this disjoint of the bases, as you can see, by ground. It's going to be a pretty long distance to get to your third base, which is why I think on this map specifically, it's pretty good to go for that block. Is this a full wall? Doesn't look like the pylon is a full wall. So, trying to bait the bailing bust here. Now, when the core finishes up, we might actually see Harstem deviate. But we've seen a couple ZVPs from Harstem versus DRG and Sue. So, fully expecting to see a Stargate come out, at least 2 Oracles, probably Blink Stalkers. But it could be those charge lot run-bys, and we're going to see some Storm as well. Don't really expect to see him go like Colossi or Gateway Man or whatever. Expecting to see charge slot run-bys, a nice core of Immortals, a couple Archons, maybe some Stalkers, and some Stormy Boys. We see the first Adept already being chrono boosted out on the side of Lambo. We see speed. Oh, I have this turned off. Let me fix that real quick. I hope I edited it out this time. I don't think I edited it out in the previous video. But I hope it doesn't break your immersion too much. It's like seeing the numbers, you know? The 6 out of 16. To turn that off if I want to make thumbnails. Otherwise I have to ask the Adobe AI to edit it out. Like, I can edit it out myself, but the AI functionality... And you can't see my air quotes, but air quotes AI. It's like machine learning at best. Couple links coming out from Lambo. How many does he have? 9. That's not enough to cancel, but it can definitely get a nice surround on these Adepts. But the Oracle is here. Harstem is always really on time with that. Nicely times out the third with the Adepts and the first Oracle. So this never really does any damage to him. The Overlord is flying on into the base here, making sure that he knows what's up. He sees the second Oracle en route. And I think the most important thing is to see if there's a third Oracle. Do see an extra gateway being added on here for Harstem. Second gateway, that is. And behind it, Lambo's just droning with all this information. No third Oracle. Might see a Twilight Console in the natural to make sure the Overlord can't see it. If Harstem is still looking at that Blink build he's been showing with the 2 Oracles. But that would mean he would need a Twilight Console pretty fast. He now has a Stalker, making sure that this Overlord, wanted to call it an Evo Chamber, doesn't get anything. The Lings come in again. No Oracles this time around. And Lambo actually getting some damage done here. 2 Adepts going down. The pylon going down. And this third base is in some serious trouble. This Adept needs to get into a nook or a cranny. Lower that surface area. I did not. Lambo, his Lings finding a lot of damage here. We did see 5 drones going down to the Adept harass. Or the Oracle harass, sorry. Oh my god, the probes were pulled. Harstem was very cognizant of the fact that the run-by was going to happen. And does lose a probe, but doesn't lose too much else. Has a Forge and a Twilight now. So it doesn't look like Harstem is going to do any strong timing, delaying any of his upgrades. Not going to happen. I mean, he could just not use the Forge, I guess. But this is looking a little rough. 4 probes so far, but just full information for Lambo. Sitting pretty on his side of the map. Another Oracle run by... Oh no, they click on the Queens. Don't get additional drone kills. Or at least not more than they already got. 3 more went down. Let's see what the tally is. 8 drones? That's not too bad, honestly, for just Oracle RS. I didn't see any Adepts go across the map. And none of them went across the map. So it's just Oracles. 8 kills for 2 Oracles. That's decent. You're happy with that, I think. As a Zerg, I'm kind of like, I prefer to lose less, but it's a playable game. Whereas the Protoss, you're like, huh, I invested in these Oracles. They got a good amount of kills. They also killed some Lings as well. Got all the intel that you need. And we have +1 Roaches, 3 bases. I think Lambo's forgetting his Infestation Pit here. I'm sure he wants to make some Swarm Hosty boys. But I don't see that Infestation Pit. Might want to actually win this game and just make Roaches, Ravagers, and whatever follow-up he desires. Could see that Roach Hydra play that we've been seeing into Lurkers. But Harstem has been looking pretty strong against that. Both DRG and Sue didn't find that much success with their Lurker play versus Harstem. Just, the man likes to make a lot of Immortals, likes to get Storm, and is not shying away from getting Tempest. And we see a Spire going down here. Lambo makes a Spire, it immediately gets scouted. Let's see if he cancels it. Because this could be kind of a tricky Spire. Like, you saw the air units, right? But it could also just not use it. Just keep building, but not use it. And he's making so many Roaches right now. These Roaches are revealed, though. So, Harstem did see a bunch more Roaches coming out. What is the Immortal count looking like? We have 3 on the map. And the 4th one is being created. Oh my god, the Queens are walking across the map. There's a lot of Roaches and Ravagers moving across. These 2 Oracles haven't seen it, but we see shield batteries going down for Harstem. He seems to be cognizant of the fact that something is happening here. And I mean, he definitely sees it now. The Oracles are here, ready to laser beam down those Ravagers. But the Queens are here. It's a giant creep highway. We'd love to see it. Lambo maxing out on Roach Ravager. Just like the olden days, just go for the 200 Roach max. And Storm is barely not done. Oh, this is a beautiful stasis ward. Look how the Roaches are walling off this entire army from going into the natural now. And now Storm is done. Storms are going to go down. This is wonderful for Harstem. I feel like 2 Immortals over here, the shield battery, and we have 2 Immortals over there. Oh, but the army actually gets into the natural, now forcing Harstem to move out of position at his 3rd base. And Lambo can force very favorable fights. But still, Storms are remaining. Lambo hasn't taken a shit ton of damage from those Storms. And now, the natural seems breached. And the High Templar just can't get there. There isn't a Warp Prism to ferry them over. He just needed the maximum amount of Immortals. And now, look at these High Templars. If reinforcements come from behind, it's going to be bad news bears for the Protoss player here. High Templar still alive. The Immortal does go down. 1 more Immortal here. And it does seem like Harstem is holding, but 18 probes going down is not optimal. I'm guessing you figured that much. And just more Roaches and Lings are coming in. Lambo is committed to shutting down the Protoss here. The 4th base not really doing anything. We do see probes being made by Harstem because he needs to re-up on his economy. Can't stick on 50 probes and try to defend because then you will get overwhelmed by the Zerg that has more income than you. And Archon is being morphed because the High Templar are out of energy. And you'd rather have the power now than wait for the next storm. That's 75 energy. That's like 60 in-game seconds, I feel like. I think it's like 1 energy blizzard second, but since we don't do blizzard seconds anymore, it's a little weird. So I don't know the exact rate of regeneration nowadays. 4th base has been ransacked by the Zerg. 32 probes in total went down for that assault. And Lambo behind it now goes into the Muds. Oh my god. That is annoying. On 55 probes is not the most fun to try and defend Mutas. At least you only have to defend 3 bases. Try to stay positive here. We don't have a Robo. So this Creep Tumor actually in the center of all of his base is so annoying. The Oracles don't have Revelation. They need to use their Pulsar Beams every time to try and defend. Harstem is holding on, but these Mutas, I think, are going to spell disaster. Do we even have Blink? We don't have Blink Stalkers. We have 1 Phoenix. And I think this is just going to be a probe massacre. Doesn't matter what happens on the map. Like, all these probes are just going to go down. And if not, Harstem could just never leave his base. The ground army is just going to swoop in and kill everything, where if you try to defend the Mutas with any of the units in the front. Now we have an Archon of 4 Stalkers and another probe line. It's just going to go down. Nice whole position micro here by Lambo. Set it and forget it. Finally, the Zergs can do it too. Oh, the Phoenix goes in a little bit too deep. Gets clicked down. I like clicking Nexi or like main structures because the bounces go so far away from it because it's a big building. So you can like bounce to the forge by being over here and attacking the Nexus. So it feels really good when there's like low HP units that, like Marines, that want to try to stay back, but they still want to help their buddies. And they just hit the CC or the Nexus and the bounces will kill the low HP Marines, for example. Oh, the Oracles get caught. More Mutas join the fight. And the Mutas are actually in the main army now. 19 Mutas. I mean, I can't hype this up a lot. Look at the supply. Lambo just shutting down Harstem here. Harstem could not hold that assault in the front. The Queens, the Ravagers, the Roaches. Lambo taking full control of Harstem's center and went up into the natural, and suddenly this ramp is working against you. Barely not enough units here to hold on, and the High Templar just couldn't get shuffled around fast enough and couldn't provide the storms when necessary. Like, if one of these High Templar was over here, this might have looked very different already, but it's a very tough hold. And, I mean, Harstem held, but the follow from Lambo, just too devastating. And here we are for game number 2 between Lambo and Harstem. In the upper bracket of the knockout stage. I think this is Group C for ESL 2024. The offline event at DreamHack Dallas. And as always, before the action kicks off, be sure that you are subscribed to the channel. You can like the video if you want, leave a comment, and thank you for watching, honestly. Recently, some people have been asking questions in the comments about the game, and I get such a smile on my face when I get to talk about StarCraft, you wouldn't believe. I am really happy to just write a wall of text explaining a very small detail about the game. I think the question in question? Yeah, the question that I'm talking about is somebody asked why Björn put his 2 racks at the front. And there's just so many reasons that you could go into, and I try to keep it short but concise, but there's just so many facets. So thank you in particular, Mr. Commenter, for leaving that comment. Made me really happy. And I hope my answer was satisfactory. I'm going for the Nexus before core here. And I don't play enough Protoss to know if that is like standard or not. When I play Protoss, when I random, I usually go for core before Nexus because I'm just so afraid of like getting Zerglings in my base. So I'm like, I want to have that Adept, I want to have that Stalker, I want to hit this Overlord, I'm like, I want to have a unit, I want to have a unit. You know, if you feel so naked before the core is done, you can't make any units. You know, Zealots don't count. They're slow. Unless you're like a proxy gateway man. Zealots don't really count. Lambo going for speed again, relatively fast, and pulls off all of his drones from the gas. His hatchery has been displaced once again by Harstem. Getting that early scout, getting the hatch block. And, I mean, on Oceanborn, I don't mind it as much as the Zerg. This area just isn't that long. And as soon as you have the natural here, the creep connects super fast. It's sometimes this even feels like an advantage. I like taking this one as my third, because then the creep is so far forward and you can really do some nasty attacks. Just really, you can get like your creep over here when you move out with your Queen Ravager bullshit. But that definitely gives the Protoss a little bit more opportunity to harass your drones trying to get to that base. The first Adept has been chrono boosted out, and Harstem is going for that Stargate once again. Second Adept once again, and fully expecting an Oracle here. Yep, there it is. Le Oracle. And I'm not expecting him to deviate from what he's been showing before. He's been playing a pretty solid Protoss versus Zerg style that leaves a lot of skill expression options open. Lambo with the 10 links again, moving towards the third base location. And might actually get there a little earlier this time around. The Adepts are there, but the third is not down yet. This is going to be a little awkward. But the Oracle's here. Oh, the probe actually gets targeted down. And he does go down. All the Zerglings do kind of die for that, though. So, sure, we lost a probe. But there's no aggressive potential from Lambo anymore. But he does make extra lings. So, this could actually kind of start to look like the previous game, where Harstem probably thought that no more lings will come, and then they did come. Probe on hold position has lower target priority for lings than Adepts that are able to attack. So if the lings come here, they won't actually attack the probe until they they stop trying, I guess. At some point, one of them will start attacking the probe, but it takes a while. You see that a lot with SCVs versus charge slots, for example. You put them on hold position, and then suddenly the charge slots start derping out. Zerg does the same thing when you get either proxy gatewayed or charge slot all-in. You put like drones behind your queen, and then you hold position the drones, so that the charge slots all want to attack the queen, but the drones are in front, so they derp around, waste their charge, and then you have to like manually target down the drones most often. So that is pretty cute with the attack prioritization. Couple of Adepts moving on out here. They put their shades back, but they are actually still in front. This Overlord does see them, though. And there is a fourth base going down here. So not the Stalker build this time around for Harstem off of his two Oracles. He's not getting any upgrades right now. There he goes. Charge and +1 is going down. We have a Robo in the natural going down. And so he's going for his charge slots. Wouldn't be surprised to see a pretty fast Templar Archives coming up next when he has like 1 or 2 Immortals. And then go for his Storm and start doing those charge slot run-bys ASAP. Just like dump all of his minerals into those charge slots and then get Archons, get High Templars, get Immortals. And there we go. Templar Archives is going down. What is Lambo cooking up? He in the lab or he in the kitchen? Is it meth or is it food? I don't know. I'm not an expert. But we see a pretty similar build from Lambo this time around. Speed +1, 3 bases saturated. The fourth base has been taken. And now he does put a couple extra drones on them compared to last game and is getting a Spire. The Spire has been spotted right away. We actually have 3 Oracles this time around. I kind of missed that. But no Stalkers once again from Harstem. And I wonder if Lambo's build is tuned to punish that. Like, these players should kind of know what they are playing. If they're not practicing together, they are, like, talking to each other, hitting each other on the ladder. Like, they do, like, YouTube stuff together. There's no way they are not in some way familiar with their philosophies on the matchup. And we see a lot of roaches coming out. Where are those queens? Are they moving out or are they staying at home? We see 77 workers, bunch of roaches coming out. And we see cannons. We see a wall. We see another cannon, probably shield batteries. Storm being chrono boosted to all hell. Like, Harstem is ready to defend again. But Lambo hasn't moved out, hasn't used any of his gas to make Ravagers. Now he starts doing it. Are the Queens moving across, or is this just a different attack? Because it looks very similar. We even see Overlord speed, so I think the Queens are moving out as well. We're gonna see another creep highway. So this is pretty interesting. We see a repeat of the first game in a sense. But Harstem now slightly more tuned to defend it. I feel like this map is also a little easier because this center of your bases is so hard to take for Zerg. Okay, the corrosive battles go down, and look at that Lambo trying to open up more surface area on this base. If you could put half his army here, look at that arc. Follow my cursor. Like at this arc, not so nice. This arc, very nice. Wish I could draw an arc. I do have software for that, but it's a little too fancy probably. And I'm too jittery with my camera movement. Storms go down, force fields in tandem with the storms can make sure that you get some juicy hits. Now these 4 immortals are all in one pack. Decent storm there, keeps the Zerglings off of his army. And how many storms do we have left? 1 or 2? And Harstem actually wins the game? Resumed playing. Wait, what? Wait, what? Huh? I don't know what happened. But I do know that this is the only replay, and Lambo should win. Huh? I'm guessing that they restarted this game after Lambo disconnected, and that he then won the game. But we don't have that replay, so this is a little awkward, but yeah. Good job, Lambo. But there is a second series between Lambo and Harstem. They played again in the lower bracket of the knockout stage. And now they start on Oceanborn. If this is somehow exactly the same game, that would be super funny. And I'll try to make a cool edit out of it. But for now, I'm gonna assume that this is a clean slate, new best of 3. And even though we got honeydicked a little bit in game number 1 over there, yeah, there's no probe here to block the hatchery, so this is a new series. We have Lambo versus Harstem once again. And Lambo showing the same build twice and ostensibly winning twice with it. Whereas Harstem was also showing the same opener, well, not opener, but like same build plan. Like overall plan was the same. He tried 2 different openers for that. The second game he made a couple more adepts and an oracle, tried to get some extra damage done compared to game number 1. And he had a slightly easier position to defend. But faith has it that he still somehow, Harstem there, lost the game in the first series. But now we have a second series, so we can see more of these players adapting to each other, what they are doing. You already saw Harstem doing some adaptations to, I still want to do the same thing, I think it's strong, I see what you are doing, and I'm just making slight changes and optimizations to hold it. And maybe you don't even make a change, maybe it's just, well, this map is just better for me, so now I can have all of my units together to defend, for example, which was pretty hard on site Delta for Harstem. Let's see what Lambo's up to. Getting that speed mined. Or the gas for speed mined. And all the drones go to the natural. Lucky for him, his natural has not been blocked. So his drones aren't in much danger. We see an adept being chrono boosted out again. And we see a Stargate going down again. So Harstem sticking to his guns. And he goes to the gym, so his guns are pretty... Whew. You know, his wife is lucky. Pretty sure he has a wife now. I think they married. I think I saw very, very cute pictures on Twitter at some point. Feels kind of weird. I'm at that age where my friends are like married or getting married. Mostly it's still getting married. Most of them aren't married yet, but like, you know, it's a conversation. And I'm like, I'm nowhere near marrying, boy. I have a stable relationship, but, you know, marriage is a couple years off at least. Oh my god, so many lings coming out of a Lambo once again. 8 lings? It's not even that much, I guess. It's just enough to defend the adepts, but... like, he's been making lings aggressively for that third base, so I kinda have that in my mind. We have one Oracle coming out, being chrono boosted out here. And look at Harstem, just a machine. He makes sure that he secures his third base. Oh, these adepts in front with the shade back to, like, see the ling flood coming. That's a nice detail. And now that he knows that there's no links, he can move out with the units instead of staying at his third base. Very chill adaptation here by Harstem. Couple more links are coming out. So we might see a small counterattack. And the Oracle comes in. No drones at the third base yet. And that is pretty standard nowadays. Just oversaturate your natural a little bit until these spores finish up. And then you can move in with the queens. Extra queens will spawn. And we have an Evo chamber pretty early. The timing tells me that it might be +1 melee. But, like, it looks just Roach Warren +1. So, not gonna be melee. It's gonna be range. +1 melee, probably a bit earlier, and you would probably hide it a little bit more. But it could still be, if you want it to be. You know, it's Zerg. They can do anything. It is melee. Dude, I was like, I saw the Roach Warren, I'm like, it's not super early, so I might be just hallucinating the melee. But no, there it is, +1 melee. Damn. Trust your gut, people. Even if you don't know why it's saying the thing it's saying. +1 coming out for Harstem with a Twilight Console. Or we're gonna see charge once again. With the Templar Archive slightly later. I don't see a Robo just yet. We actually see Blink. Okay, +1 Blink. With Oracles, 3 Oracles. He does go for the 5 Adepts, and he does force Lambo to make a good amount of links here. He is making +1 links into Stalkers. That's usually pretty nice. Especially if you can transition into Ling Hydra with some Banes. Feels really good. Ling Hydra shreds any amount of Stalkers. Feels so good. And if you, like, yoink in, like, 2 Infestors because you're rich for some reason, it's a little bit more doable nowadays. Because you don't need the upgrade. Fungal comes out a little faster. Because it's only like the first 2 fungals that really matter. You want to hit that timing. And the trade-off, I think, is one of the most interesting changes that the design console has made. Is that, yes, we have less fungal per infestor, because I think their max HP or max mana pool was lowered. But in trade, they start with more mana. So you have your first fungal of the game like 25 seconds earlier, or maybe 20, I don't know. And then later on in the game, you don't have as many fungals on each infestor. So late game, they're less oppressive. But early, you can actually hit acute timing with them, which I think is cool. It makes both players happy. Zergs are like, infestors feel better now. And Protosses are like, whoa, he doesn't fungal my whole army in the late game every second. Like, all of my interceptors just can't move, because he has 5 infestors with infinite energy stored up. Or neuroparasites, I guess. Aren't really big deal. Now, we do see the German taxi coming out. The queens are in the overlords, with overlord speed, moving across the map. Oh, look at that. The oracles already shut down one of the ravagers, and this is why you bring the queens. They can't transfuse, but they do get 2 kills on the oracles already, and the army from Harstem is getting surrounded. He was just slightly out of position. Feels bad, man. Lambo. Just a slam and a dunk here. I don't think Harstem can hold on anymore. Like, his army needs to be entrenched with his shield batteries, with his oracles, and now Lings also get in. Nice force field. I don't know where that sentry's hidden, but he's dead. The hero's dead. But half his army still up there, slowly being nibbled away by these +1 Lings, and The Roaches and the Ravagers are kind of a sideshow too. The +1 links that are just nibbling away at everything they can find. Gateways unpowered. The mains probes have been evacuated, so they are inefficiently mining at the natural. And I feel like Lambo's just hammering down on this Protoss player here. And the curtains are starting to close already. All the corrosive piles hitting those stalkers, hitting the probes as well. Now the probes are starting to fall in both bases. And Harstem is forced to GG out. And Lambo takes game number 1 in the second best of 3 that we're watching. Don't get it twisted. And goes up 1-0 in a best of 3 against Harstem again. So Harstem, we need to see something here in game number 2. And what a treat, back to where it all started. Site Delta, we have Lambo against Harstem in the second best of 3. And they're doing the same maps so far, but in a different order. So let's see if Harstem now has a plan for this map. The Roachling Ravager Queen attack on Site Delta looked so strong, and Lambo has been doing it to him almost every game. Now, last game he didn't even commit to getting a Spire, I feel like. He just put all of his resources into that German taxi. A little bit more all-in, not as much of a follow-up, and managed to crack Harstem there by really catching his army out of position. Harstem was trying to be active on the map, overstepped slightly, and then the Lings and the Ravager suddenly were in position. And yeah, Harstem just tried to like snap off the head of the attack early by moving in front of his third base, contesting the first Ravagers, contesting the first Lings, because the Lings are kind of out in front because they are faster. But the Queens caught up really fast, unloaded. The Oracles just stayed in Queen range slightly too long, and then 2 Oracles already went down, and all of a sudden the Stalkers were falling on the right, the Oracles were falling on the left, and Harstem was very sad that he was not near any of his shield batteries. So this is the 4th game between these 2 players, and I kind of want to see a bit of a bigger adaptation out of Harstem this time around. Like, he's been trying to play the same thing, and he trusts his style, and it's worked against the Koreans, but Lambo's kind of abusing it. And he's showing builds, and he's just showing that he can crack the shell. So you might just want to put yourself in a different situation this time around. And Harstem has been making some small adaptations, isn't blocking the hatchery this time around. Do see the Adept, we do see the Stargate. I like that he doesn't like fully like switch it up. A little pylon here. A little blockaroo. He's gonna build a cyber core, that would be super funny. Oh, but the third base goes down there. So the pylon does get blocked. Maybe Harstem wants Lambo to take this base, and he has a specific attack planned on that side. Yeah, I can see that. I guess this side would also just be fine, but you can do that as a Protoss player. Force your opponent to take a certain base over another one, because you want to have, like, the force field positions or whatever. Maybe with Terran, it's siege tanks. Although this position seems kind of fine as well. Second gateway going down, making sure that the speedlings can't get in. This Overlord this time does survive, even though we've seen it die in previous games. I don't think the Stalker can get rid of it. Just get a bunch of damage on it. Again, an Oracle. And a second Oracle will be constructed as well. Harstem going for this third base again. So he is showing us a similar opener with only 2 Adepts this time around? 2 Adepts, so really skimping on the Adept count this time around. Because we've seen him build 3 and then keep 1 in the wall, keep 2 at the Nexus, and then the Stalker in the base hunting Overlords. So he's making some adjustments, at least. We see a Twilight Console being created here, put in the back, away from where he knows an Overlord is. And what is the plan? 2 oracles on the map. No third one is being constructed. We see gateways coming up. So this might actually be that stalker push that we've seen Harstem do. And we'll see him warp in stalkers soon, if that is the case. Just to up the stalker count right away. Now he should start blink then, if that is the case. Or is it going to be... No Dark Templar Shrine, it's blink. And then I expect to see stalkers being warped in here sooner rather than later. There we go. 2 stalkers are coming out. Being hidden in the natural. So Harstem is going to show that. 2 oracle unupgraded stalker push. And we saw him versus, I think, Sue deny this top base really well. With that push. Now let's see what he can get done against Lambo. Lambo doing a pretty similar build to what he's been doing. Getting a slightly later Evo this time around. Really signaling that he's going for range. Oof, these queens were ready for the Oracle. Feels bad, man. The Oracles thought we can go like here and then the queens come and then we run away. But the queens were already waiting. Very vigilant there from Lambo. And the stalkers are being created. The Lings are going to find out. Or are they not? Let's see what the Lings see. They see another probe. They do not get the kill. They don't see the stalkers. Do you see a couple roaches being built? See a revelation. I want to use Lambo's vision here. Let's see what he sees. Oh, 1 surround on the Adept. This Adept is going to go down. Damn, dude. Lings are pretty good. And a second Adept goes down as well. Oh, that feels bad. Slight miscontrol there from Harstem. Feels really good for Lambo, probably. But still, it hasn't seen the stalkers move out. He does have a Ling over there. Oh, and now he sees the stalkers. He knows what's up. Oh, that's a lot of stalkers. And in the production tab, we see a bunch of Ravagers being started up. And a bunch of Lings. He even starts a Hydra then. He's like, I know how to defend this. Ravager, Ling, Queens already in position. Couple Overlords actually being sniped. That's nice, but... Lambo still has enough supply remaining, and these stalkers are pushing. We even have a pylon for reinforcements here. And Harstem is going to look for value here. This is kind of what Trigger would do. Just go push with Stalker. We even see a gateway, a pylon. How many gates do we have on the map? 6 gates, so a 7th one underway. We even see a fort, so there is a follow-up here, but this is pretty committed pressure from Harstem. And the Lings come in from the back. Blonks on top of those Lings. Gets the kill. Another Overlord and the creep gets cleared. I like this a lot. Harstem mixing it up a little bit. Taking some initiative in this game. Not trying to be the defender. Trying to be the offender. Not that type of offender, but, you know. And now the Hydra's being mixed in for Lambo. And Harstem does see them. So does that prompt him to go back? Or does he stay? Stasis Ward. Takes out those Lings real nice. And we don't have any upgrades on the Stalkers. We do have +1 for Lambo now. You kind of want to be near these Lings when they stop being stasis. More Stalkers are coming in. We see +1 and a Robo. So there is a follow-up coming from Harstem. 69 probes, nice. Nice surround here by Harstem as well. Loses 1 Stalker for it. Oh, doesn't use the Blink. 2 Stalkers go down before he uses his Blink. Probably had to deal with something else. Now, there is a 4th base here for Lambo, but no drones on it at all. These Stalkers, I mean, it's like 4 shots from all of your Stalkers if you just click on the hatch. But instead, he clicks on a Queen and just shaves off more Zerg units. And this force is starting to look really big. Harstem doesn't want to get himself into a position where he has to commit to the fight, because his units just aren't that efficient in a short fight. You want to have long fights with this composition as Harstem, because you can keep blinking, keep getting value. But Lambo has Ravagers to kind of counteract that. Ravagers have a similar purpose. Long range, little squishy, but they have that cooldown ability in the Ravager Bile. Or Corrosive Bile. Ooh, Harstem could fight half the army here. That would be nice. Click a Ravager. But, oh, there's a lot coming from behind. Harstem has used his blinks, and this is not a happy place for the Protoss player. I think we're going to see 1 blink and then recall. Oh, he blinks and he's just going to walk it off. He's going to walk it off, baby. Loses a lot of shields and a couple stalkers for that, but he does stay alive with his whole army. Now in position at the third base. Nice force fields. Keeps a couple Ravagers. Oh my god. What? That Ravager. What? How did he squeeze past? There was no way. Ravagers are thick boys. That's some cheating right there. No way. Oh my god. Blinks back. Now the sentries are in danger. The Immortals as well. Stalker's blinking back, making sure that all the other units of Harstem are in danger. And again, look at Lambo taking the center of the bases of Harstem. And now that he has the center... Oh, decent Disruptor hit. Gets a Ravager. You'd like to see, like, one of those, you know, instant... Oh, I won't say dirty words, but, you know, like... Very, very satisfactory Disruptors that satisfy you instantaneously. In a big outburst of happiness. Euphoria, perhaps. Oh, another Disruptor shot. Oh, yeah. That was a nice one. And these Disruptors are doing work. We have 2 Disruptors. You even see a Colossus being added on here. Infestation Pit starting on up. We're going to see a Hive. We're going to see Lurkers or Vipers or both. And I think maybe Harstem can even save this 4th base. 64 probes, doing okay. Lambo on 60 drones, so wouldn't call it all in, but definitely not... definitely very committed pressure. +2 now starting up for Lambo, and Harstem has held here on Site Delta. I love this. He really changed it up. He went for the Stalker push. And... I mean, he didn't, like, kill a base or, like, do significant damage to Lambo, but he kept Lambo on 60 drones for a long time. Made him make a lot of Zergling Ravager, which, you know, Ravagers are good. Zerglings are, you know, very expensive larva-wise, which helps with the keeping the drones down. And especially if the queens have to come off the line, then Zergling defenses become harder and harder. Harstem 166 supply, starting +2, starting Thermal Lance, and another Colossus. We see Hive and a Lurker Den coming up. Nice blink forward, make sure that the Lings couldn't escape. Burns them to a crisp with his 1 Colossi. We have 5 Disruptors here. And Lambo, is he going for a counterattack? Oh, that Stalker, the positioning from Harstem, dude. He knows what's up. He's got his units spread out. He's like, I want to know. If you want to run around me and desert me, I'll show you that I'm never gonna give up. Lambo maxing out here. Oh, he's getting Lurkers and Vipers in the face of a potential attack. He double dares Harstem to attack him now. And since Harstem isn't attacking, Lambo now gets to build a bunch of Lurkers. Gets to get range, gets to get +2 range. Range on the Lurkers as well. Gets Vipers. Ooh, so this fight for Harstem is going to be a lot worse than he's hoping. Because instead of making more like Hydra Roach, Lambo could just make the new cool expensive units. Didn't have to defend. And now the Lurkers have been shown. There's no way that Harstem is surprised by that, but still, 3 Immortals on the field, 2 more in production. So now we have, what, 5 Immortals. I mean, most armies that destroy Lurkers kind of have like 8 Immortals. So, what's going to happen there? Plus, we have Vipers on the field, 3 of them, thanks. Don't know by heart how much an Abduct costs. I think it's 75. It could also just be 125, to be fair. We're gonna have to see. But these Abducts, 1 Abduct is usually 1 kill. And we see the Fleet Beacon coming out, so we might actually go into those Tempests, and I would love to see it. We see Storm coming out as well. Harstem getting into his comfort zone. He's getting a nice expensive army on 4 bases. Oh, the Yoinks come out. And the Disruptors instantly get taken down. The Immortals do a number on those Lurkers, but the Immortals have been killed, and now the Lurkers just run away. These boys are so fast. Are they really siege units? Oh, that was a terrible trade for Harstem. Truthfully, Like, the Mega Hellions just did too much damage, and now there's another attack from Lambo. Roaches and Ravagers that he doesn't mind losing. He just wants to remax on better units. Hydralisks, preferably. And that's just what he's doing, making Hydras whilst efficiently losing these units, pulling Harstem back. Harstem is going for a 5th base, and I feel like if he remaxes, Harstem is in an okay spot. Bunch of Lings on the map, and now we see Adrenal Glands as well. These Zerglings aren't the strongest right now, but with Adrenal Glands, they're always vicious. They're always dangerous, especially versus buildings. Like 20% attack speed increase is just... Lynx do a lot of damage. 8 more lurkers on the way. My god, that's going to be 16 lurkers on the map. We do see a mothership. I love that. Mothership, good unit. Or minus 350, 350. Nowadays. Oh, Lambo respreading these overlords for vision. Dude, this guy's such a good gamer. Can you believe it? Oh my god, that's so many lurkers. Oh, that's so scary. Yeah, storm the lurkers. They will regenerate. No worries. I mean, the damage is still significant. Because if you do that like 4 times, suddenly the lurkers are all red. Oh, the yoink comes in from that Viper. And I do think that that Abduct is actually 125 energy. Am I crazy? No, it's 75. It's 75. Okay. We learning. Oh, another yoink comes in. An Immortal. Second Immortal. And now Harstem feels like he needs to go. He has a decent supply count. And he has a surround on the lurker. So these Immortals are doing work. The Lings completely evaporating. The nuclear battery committed. And the Colossi in the back, standing tall, standing proud, lasering down their opponent's eyes. Ooh, 1 Immortal. Just get clicked down there. Nice efficiency by Lambo. What's the remax? 22 Hydras into 2 Colossus. 2 more Immortals are being created here by Harstem. How many High Templar do we have left? 4 of them are on the map. They don't have any energy, though. But soon TM. They might have some energy. I don't know how you all about energy drink, but oof. I grew up enjoying them, so it's kind of like a nostalgia hit for me. Like, most of them don't even taste that amazing, but it's just a nostalgia, dude. And I like the sugar, you know, the dopamine rush. Got ADHD, so I love dopamine. But I've been really getting into iced coffee lately. Like, really getting into it. I like making it myself because it's way better. But it needs to be sweet enough and enough milk so it doesn't, like... It's not coffee with, it's like milk with coffee taste. I like the coffee-like aftertaste. Oh my god, the lurkers. The burrow. The annihilation. This base never existed in the first place. The lurkers made it so. Killed it in the future, killed it in the past, killed it in the present. It never has been. And now Harstem, 155 supply. A lot of probes went down. If he now remaxes, his army is huge. But can he do that? An Oracle comes out for the Revelation. Doesn't have the energy. The other Oracle does, though. Nice feedbacks. Boom! This Viper luckily survived because he wasn't full energy. But that was nice feedbacks from Harstem, killing all of the Vipers that had energy. And now we even have a cloaking field, but the Overseer doesn't die. There's no anti-air for that Overseer. No Tempest were created. There's just no money for Harstem to get any Tempest. And now again, Lambo on the center of Harstem's bases. Look at this. These 2 Robos have no shot of surviving. The Immortal comes out and starts hitting a Roach and dies before the Roach dies. That's when you know it's bad. We see a small counterattack here with Harstem's entire army. 66 army supply, and Harstem calls the GG. And Lambo wins, but this was a nice fighting game. I loved Harstem's adaptations, and he had a real shot at winning this game. I think that fight versus the Lurkers over here was really bad. And maybe if he had, like, the spider senses to attack in with his Disruptors, it could have been different. But if the Vipers are out, which they were, like, at least halfway done, if they're out, you probably lose that fight instantaneously, because, like, 200 supply of Roach Ling, Hydra, Ravager just surround you, and the Vipers just make sure that all of your tech units are already dead before you can use them. So moving, like, onto a base is such a big risk that I understand that Harstem didn't do it, but it gave Lambo so much extra space to make these lurkers, to make the Viper Rhinos, wherever they may be. Oh, there they are. Nice last game. I'm very happy to see that not all of the games ended with Lambo doing an attack, Harstem trying to defend, and Harstem dying. So yeah. Guys, thank you for watching this double series again. I don't know if these perform well or worse. We're just gonna see. I just thought it would be cool to try it for a little bit. And yeah, it's just, I like seeing how every game informs their next game. Like Harstem, like this game is cool in a vacuum, and it's even cooler because we saw the last 3 games where Harstem tried to defend, wasn't able to defend, so now he had to switch it up. And Lambo kind of knew that, so he could switch it up in a way. Just makes it way cooler. A best of 1 is not as cool as 2 best of 3s, basically. Shocker. With that, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.